one or the other, a series where we take variants from any class and see if they either live up to or exceed expectations of the base variant or are below par and not worth the time and effort. Today's variant in question shall be of the Druid Rose. Will she exceed expectations or will she fall short? Let's get started. The Druid Rose is a variant of the Rose class that can be unlocked through opening sticker packs and fills the role as the toxic variant. Their primary weapon is of a more rapid fire weapon, firing at 360 rounds per minute, has 30 ammo per clip with a 2-second reload. Each shot fired deals 5 damage and does not have any form of drop off. Enemies hit by her primary weapon are inflicted with the toxic status effect, taking 2 damage every second for the next 3 seconds. Like every other Rose, Druid's homing range is capped at 45 meters, but unlike most toxic variants, she does not have a toxic aura that affects enemies within close proximity. Like every other Rose, they have 100 health and travel at 7.45 meters per second, making them fairly mobile on foot. Now, to bring in the stock variant as a comparison, which of the two are better? Well, for starts, the stock Rose relies much more on damage per shot as opposed to a faster rate of fire, so missing a shot or two as the stock Rose will be much more punishing than missing a shot or two with Druid Rose. The main detail, however, that edges the fight into the stock Rose's favor is projectile range and response time. Whilst normally this doesn't matter much with Roses, since their weapons all have homing and track onto enemies. As shown here, the stock Rose's projectiles travel much faster and are much more responsive at a distance, as opposed to the Druid Rose's projectiles, which not only accelerate slower, but their initial projectile velocity is only 2 meters per second, meaning that if the target is near the maximum range of the homing capabilities, then there will be a significant delay between the shot being fired and the bullet hitting its target, so the stock Rose wins easily in that department. With Druid Rose having a much higher rate of fire and the toxic status effect, she can more fluently spread out her damage across multiple enemies, should she ever be in a scenario that this tactic is needed. Though her damage per clip is relatively low when looking at the Druid Rose, having only a potential of 150, which when in comparison to the 190 potential damage that the stock Rose can deal, does mean that Druid will struggle immensely against higher health opponents like All-Stars or SBs. Now when we bring upgrades into the question, there is quite the substantial improvement to Druid. As we can see, the damage upgrade significantly bolsters the Druid Rose's damage per clip up to nearly 200 damage, which when combined with the extra chip damage over time, allows her to just barely take down 200 health opponents. Granted, it does also force Druid into a position where if she misses a shot, it won't be possible for her to kill All-Stars and SBs within a single clip. Despite the improvement, however, Druid Rose's slower projectile velocity does still severely harm her, since it still makes her weapon's general response time relatively weak in comparison to the stock Rose, making it at times relatively inconsistent and unreliable. After analyzing further, I can conclude that the Druid Rose is unfortunately slightly worse than the base variant, with the aforementioned poor response time of her weapon and overall lower damage per clip, making it difficult to take out 200 health opponents. Be sure to come back for the next episode in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun.